Guys, before we get started with today's episode, let me give you a brief overview what Pathmonk is all about before we jumping into the show. Pathmonk is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, more than 98% of all website visitors do not convert. So your ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition. So Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where people are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, introductional videos, and much more. So stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by plus 50%. Add Pathmonk to your website in seconds, let the artificial intelligence do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads from the same website traffic without having to change the page. Check it out on pathmonk.com. In today's episode of the Pathmonk Business Podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Kyle Davis, who's sailing over from Veracity. And we really want to deep dive into their solutions and services and how they basically help through legacy and core system modernization, program and service implementation, and the likes in order to help their clients to get in innovation. So, Kyle, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so maybe tell people a little bit about Veracity. People that haven't heard about it or haven't used it, what are you guys all about?
Yeah, so we are a business and technology consultancy. So basically that's the jargon version of saying we help businesses perform better and optimize. And so every business is trying to, digital transformation is the buzzword. Every business is trying to keep up, and we help them, whether it's from their IT architecture to their processes, to their building apps, to whatever it may be, their people, their communication, how they change, how they communicate that change, anything that helps them work more efficiently and effectively, AI, all of that stuff is where we come in. And so we work with a lot of our clients on how to get them up and running in terms of being, taking these legacy systems and the way that they used to do things and getting them ready and up and going for the 21st century and hopefully kind of a step ahead for tomorrow.
Very cool. Makes a whole lot of sense. Now, tell me a little bit about sort of the customers that you're working with. Like what types of organizations benefit the most when I work with you guys?
We have a pretty wide variety of industries we work with, but we've actually found there's been a big interest in highly regulated industries. So like the government agencies are one, utilities, financial institutions, credit unions, all that. So we will work with a lot of just commercial brands across the board. But we have found that, I think, especially when you look at some of these industries like the government or some of the regulated industries, it's been much more difficult for them to evolve quickly in the way that they do things. And so that is definitely one area where we partner together and really help bring them forward and make life easier and more efficient and that sort of thing. So yeah, we are open and have worked with about any industry that you can think of, but really some of those highly regulated ones have become a niche for us.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, very cool. Tell me a little bit about sort of the way these guys learn about you. Like, how would you describe the journey, even you getting to know you guys and then sort of getting started?
Yeah, so I've only been here for about 7 months now, but the Veracity itself has been around since 2006. And to the credit, what the team has done a really good job all the way from leadership to everyone else is that building a really strong brand and a really strong reputation with clients. So it was not a overly, our name was not necessarily plastered far and wide, but for those who knew us, they recognized the logo, they knew the name, they knew us in the communities where we were, and they had really strong reputation. So now we could come in and build on that from a marketing standpoint and say, all right, let's take all of this, great equity that we have and let's expand the net a little bit more. So now we're really focusing on, we're in the midst of launching a new design of the website. We are really focusing on inbound and that customer experience of, or I guess prospect experience of, okay, once they come in and they find out about us, how can we tailor more relevant content to them? How can we make sure we kind of dive further into what they need, the timing, and just nurture them a little bit better? So we always, I think in the past, it was very much more of a, especially from sales, it was kind of more relationship driven. It was, we were very much out there and in our communities and people knew the name and whatnot, they might not have known what we did as well. And again, it wasn't as far of a reach, but there was a lot of strong equity in the brand and the reputation there. We've worked with some partners, technology partners that have really helped, like Oracle and ServiceNow and some of them. So we had a lot of equity there. But then it's coming in, and now the next stage is really expanding that funnel and expanding that net to kind of catch those who might not have known about us before in some of those maybe pre-COVID face-to-face ways or otherwise, and really engaging them through digital.
That sounds really good. Now, how do you think about the website? Like, what role do you think the website plays in their journey? How do you think about that?
I mean, the website in any business, especially B2B like us, you use whatever analogy you want. It's the engine to the car. It's whatever. Like, you can't. Everything feeds into the website, and then the website, everything comes from there. So, we really value that as kind of the hub of our organization, not just kind of marketing, but everything we do. It is getting leads, but it's also that's an area where we engage with the community. We engage with prospective employees. It's all both. We had typically done a really good job of funneling people to the website and getting them engaging there. And there was, I think, these new updates that we're about to launch is going to make it much more, not only a clean visual experience, but easier to find information, easier to engage. We've put a lot of emphasis on the content there. Where we hadn't done a lot up to that point is then what happens after they hit your website. Not even a conversion, but just like if they're engaging with content, are we tracking that correctly? Do we know what they're interested in? Do we know where we think they want to go next? And then how do we use some of these other channels like email and social and whatever else to really help them along their journey? Because it's tough to expect, especially B2B in our industry, it's a very, it can be a really long life cycle for these prospects. And it's really hard to get them to expect to come into the website one time, fill out a form, and then boom, there's an opportunity. You really have to nurture them, and sometimes they don't always know what they want. I think especially a lot with some of these organizations who they know they need to change, they know need to update, but they're not even sure where. The website is where they can kind of putting out a lot of content to help them kind of understand what those challenges are, put themselves in those shoes. And now what we're trying to do is really do a better job of customizing their experience after they hit the website and what happens next, what content they get, and how we can use some of these other channels to really kind of bolster the experience.
Makes a lot of sense. Very cool. Now, I'd like to switch gears a little bit and talk about sort of your role a little bit more. Sort of, what should people imagine? Like, what is a typical day of looking like? What should people expect?
Yeah, I have a content background, so that's kind of first and foremost. I came from the journalism side before marketing, and even since then, it's been a lot of communications, content marketing, PR, all of that stuff. So that all still comes. We have a small team where thankfully I'm not doing a bunch of our designs. We have an awesome designer, Kevin, who makes us look great and beautiful. And so mine is more really, really working with our subject matter experts to figure out, what thought leadership do we need to put out there? What's our POV? Obviously the website, all of our social channels, and then not only just writing a lot of the content for it, but really the strategy and thinking of when should people hear from us and where should they hear from us? And then what does that path down the funnel look like? So like I said, the website's been a big part now. We're also going through a big, we're HubSpot users and going through a big kind of database clean there. So I'm spending a lot of time in the depths and bowels of HubSpot as well. But it's a mixture. It's a lot of different stuff every day. I'm in social, I'm writing emails and communications, and we're doing events with partners where we're, branding it, really anything you can think of. I can get into Photoshop. You probably don't want me to too much, but it is nice. It's a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. Very cool. Now, I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
I think so.
Very good. What is the last book that you've read or the last podcast you listened to?
I'm actually, I guess this doesn't maybe count, but I'm almost done with it, is The Chaos Machine. It's a book about social media and how it's changed our just behaviors and habits and just the downfall of some of these ways that it has kind of taken over our lives. Very interesting. Would recommend it. It's definitely very eye-opening.
What will be one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
I think the right now it is the customer, the client / prospect experience. So from the first time that they hear from us through we launch and are continuing to support them, making sure that every step of that they feel like this is a true partnership and they're getting what they need and it's relevant and it's helpful, and just across the board, no matter who they're engaging with, it's very consistent and a positive experience.
Very cool. Now, if you would have a magic wand and you could change or switch one thing for your role as a marketer, what would that be?
Oof. More people? No, I think more resources, more budget, all that. I think it's tough. I would say that one of the toughest things is like this is all marketing now is just all a battle for attention. It feels like, and it's there's so much noise and there's so much happening that if I had a magic wand, maybe I would use it to just like pause the rest of time and all the noise and just filter it all out for some of the people we care about, and just say, hey, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to get you to actually care about it. Because I think once we get them to actually find us through the noise and to think about this, then we're on a good spot. But it's so hard to break through all the clutter and nonsense that goes on to try and stand out.
Very cool. Now I think that speaks from the soul for many, many marketers that are listening in. So I definitely appreciate all the insights that you shared with the community today. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all the things that we discussed on Veracity today, what's the one thing people should remember?
I think one of the big things has just been especially what we do and how we help our clients really kind of evolve and get operate more efficiently and better and whatnot, which we try to do ourselves, is really that attention to detail. And that's where a lot of it gets out. There's a lot of, especially what we see, people making mistakes in the industry, and also from a marketing perspective, there's a lot of shiny object syndrome. There's a lot of things to that next thing that you want to run to. But I think fundamentals and that attention to detail will get you a really long way. So if you can, along with the noise, try to keep moving forward without letting the light of the shiny object syndrome blind you a little too much.
Yeah, thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmonk Presents.
Thank you.